Alright, so question number 7. Okay, so alright, so let's get this question. What are the different inequality notations? So inequalities are used to relate two set of numbers, so this is what the Junior Tutor is describing. Inequalities are used to relate two set of numbers, variables, with each other. There are 4, and they give the 4 notations, so let's go through these notations. The first inequality notation is less than, which is as follows. So this could be used with just numbers, so we know 2 is less than 4. That's a kind of a simple example. We could also use it as follows. We also represent it as an equation, so we could say x minus 4 is less than 3, and then we can use this equation to solve for x, and that'll give us kind of for what values on the x-axis does this equation represent. So doing this quickly, we can see that x is less than 7. So if we had this on a graph, we know 7 is somewhere over here, and since the values of x are less than 7, we draw a line, a dotted line, because we know x does not equal 7, but it's everything less than 7, and it's this area over here. Okay, so that's kind of how you use the less than symbol. So let's go through the next inequality. Okay, so let's say we had greater than. So greater than is this way. So this could be, again, it could be like 100 is greater than 2. Or it could be 2 is greater than 1, stuff like that. We can also use an expression again. So we'll add variables to this equation. So let's erase this quickly. So we could say that x plus 3 is greater than 1. So we have x is greater than, so if we subtract 3 from both sides of the equation, we end up with 1 minus 3, which is negative 2. So if we draw a plot, we know x at negative 2 is somewhere over here. And we're saying all values greater than negative 2. So let me use a different color. So we're saying, we'll draw a line like this. And we're saying all values greater than negative 2. So something like that. And as you can see here, I drew a dotted line for negative 2 because we don't have an equal sign. So I'll use the same example for greater than or equal to. So if we had, let's say, oh, give me a second. If we had an equal to sign down here, if we just added this, here the main difference that you'd have to note is that, sorry, give me a second. So the main difference would be that this line would actually be solid. So there would not be a dotted line, it would just be a solid line. So I'm doing it would just be like that. So it's a little messy, but essentially just be a straight line. Here, I'll redraw it quickly. So we said we have negative 2, and we have a straight line, something like that, through negative 2, and it's this area over here. That's represented by that equation. Okay, let's look at the final one. Let's erase all this. So the final example is the less than or equal to. So if we had as follows, so this could be satisfied by saying 2 is less than or equal to 2, or you can say 1 is less than or equal to 2, stuff like that. But really, you'd use this with variables. So I'll go over here for a second. Alright. So you'd have, let's say, an expression like x plus 1 is less than or equal to 4. And solving for this, you'd have x is less than or equal to 3, because you kind of subtract 1 from both sides of the equation. And drawing this out, you'd have as follows. So we know 3 would be somewhere over here. And then using a different color, so we know it could be equal to, we can draw a solid line right through 3. And then it's anything less than or equal to 3. So we'd say it's this region. And that's essentially kind of a quick run through all the inequality notations. So this is kind of a short answer of what they are, but there's a little more in-depth answer of how to use them and stuff like that. So, great job. Correct answer. And we'll mark this as correct.